Saunders. He'll be a featured performer in this NCAA tournament. Mark Sears, Alabama's best player, and he checks Knell, and Knell knocks down in just over a minute. That's going to be the theme of this game. As Jimmy mentioned, withstanding the runs, a turnover. Saunders, head up, leaves it for Knell. His good buddy lays it in, making a 9-0. And I'm 100% sure Nate Oates was good with that one.
Oh, yeah.
The first basket of the game to try to settle in here today.
Well, he was good with that because it was made by Mark Sears, who'd been shooting 33% over the last 5 games.
He's good with everything he does. Knell, he's off. Nelson drives, leaves it up top. Wow, bad pass. Amori was there, ready to fire that one down. Mag. And down in the corner, Knell. That's what they want. BYU. I think they can hear that.
Tajay backpedals, and that one won't go either.
Man, these are shots that he normally hits. Like, he's getting the shots that he wants. He's just not really in sync or in rhythm right now.
This guy was early. Saunders leading the way for BYU with 7. Drive, and the scoop shot is good.
Oh, yes, the scoop.
BYU turnover. Packs it down to Crowell on the baseline. No good. Rebound off the backside by Dillon. And now BYU can play for the last shot. If they get one, it's going to come from Knell. And he got a 3.
The gamble cost him. Blackwell gamble, he reached. It ends up with Knell.
Rejected initially by Cada, but cleaned up by Winter.
Great job by Winter staying with the play.
Saunders draws a double team, kicks it outside. Knell will try another one. Got that one. Close this gap.
Well, the problem for Wisconsin hasn't been their offense, it's been their defense. As they're allowing BYU to shoot 50% from the field and 45% from the three-point line. Normally, when you give up eye-popping numbers like that, it's going to be a tough night for you.
Dimon on the drive, behind the back pass, out to Knell for 3. Got it.
I mean, look at the quality of looks.
Off balance with the left hand again.
He's taking buckets now. He's taking his time. He's poised. 25 points, 8 of 15 from the field. I know he started out slow, but now he's cooking. Season on the line. He's stepping up.
Badgers cut it to 7. Knell. Man, he's going to be the death knell to the Badgers. If he's
seeing the fact that he's over 50% from the floor. Ooh, great block. Wow.
Cada said,
Getting back to Saunders. Over 50 from the floor, 40 from threes. We got a goal to him right there. And then 80 from the...
And the drive and off the window. And finally, they get some offense from Deb Jackson. We're under a minute. Deb Jackson off the bench, 3 for 4. Three-pointer buried. Only the 5th BYU turnover. Jack Clark on the drive, trying to draw the foul. Doesn't get it. Rebound off to Cada.
BYU want to settle it down. One of those pick and roll action. See what they can get.
Knell. 3 is good.
Got a wide open 3.
In the air. And we're underway in Kansas City. BYU controls.
You're going to see a lot of sneaky NBA-type sets today from BYU, looking for the mismatch.
Jumper is good as Trevin. And he's knocked down a couple of big threes, and he's gotten this crowd going. Hilton South in full effect. Right side 3, and that'll go.
This is unbelievable.
Left side Knell. And it'll fall. Trevin Knell. Bangers, they take up a lot of space, and they use their physicality to their advantage to create angles and ward off defenders.
Oh, without a question. Shooter.
Knell, top of the key. Got it.
Can't leave him open.
Yesterday to prepare for this game, I pretty much thought Utah was in trouble. Another turnover.
Knell steps in front of that pass, taking it the other way and laying it in.
He's been over the 20-point plateau so often during a 7-game stretch, almost 6 times in 7 games.
Cada skying for the rebound.
Hey, but Cada leaves no doubt when he goes up for a board that whose it belongs to.
And the guy who made that shot that you were just talking about, Mawit Mag, I mean, he's known more for his defense. He scored the last 7 for BYU going back to the end of the first half. Here he is again, driving. Instead of shooting the layup, the extra pass. Knell open 3 is good.
So they have 6 scholarship players tonight available as Joson Sannon misses a 3. And that includes Trevor Best, who only joined Arizona State at midseason.
Well, they got to do what they're doing. They got to limit BYU to 1 shot. Phillips did a nice job on the glass, and Joe Sannon's going to have to make some outside jumpers.
Trevin Knell, speaking of outside tonight.
Yeah, I like Amir Ali, little 6'8" freshman, his high energy. He's going to have a big, if they don't have a win tonight, they got a big effect from Ali.
Second 3 for Trevin. Stroke from Amir Ali.
Ali's got that stroke working. They're going to have to try to keep up with this scoring pace right now. BYU is at a torrid scoring pace, as you mentioned. Hot is all get out from behind the land of 3.
Trevin Knell has some space. 5 for 5.
Just chewing glass tonight.
The lob for Phillips broken up. Kata got in the way.
Yeah, they've been getting a couple of those over the course of their last couple 4 or 5 games with Phillips, but you can't force it.
Wide open.
Oh, they're doing it with the D. Roxy, 6 of 11 shooting from the field. They've got a couple easy buckets. They knocked down a triple, and then Miller comes back with the steal in the transition basket.
The high archer from
pick right. Best got crushed, but I'm sorry, the young man still got to pick himself up and get back on defense. He'll learn.
Trevin Knell spots up. 3. Season high.
Here's Knell. Got it. What an answer. Scoring tonight. Richie Saunders. They love to go to him for 3. Knell off the curl. Got it. Different guy.
He said really simple. I want them to play with joy. Felt like they've been pressing a little bit too much and looking for them to play with great energy tonight.
Trevin Knell. 3. Jayhawks rattles in. Zeke Mayo.
Only 2 fast break points in Salt Lake. A great job out in transition. Kansas has always been a good scoring team in transition.
Trevin Knell. Second 3. The ball movement from BYU. The hustle from BYU is Trevin Knell. 3. Foul shooter. Missing the N1 free throw, and the rebound batted around, and BYU's got it, and Trevin Knell.
Oh my.
Wide open Trevin Knell. Roxy has got to make. Good defense from DeJuan Harris Jr. Stays with Trevin Knell. 3 or 4 pump fakes, and Knell got the
middle of it with Gasson, their leading scorer. Hawkins gives it right back, and Kata with another rejection. Trevin Knell taking the baseline for 2.
A layup right from the corner all the way to the rim.
Hawkins, too strong, trying to stick with it. And Kata pulls it down. First sellout of the season for BYU. Hard to believe. Great crowd night in, night out. 18,000, getting loud early. Knell with another layup.
Well, they feed it, go right to the rim. The beautiful lay-in by Powell, the freshman, who's evolving right before the Mountaineers' eyes. Evan Knell for 3. It's good. He wanted to foul as well.
But the expectation is this will be an all-out battle. BYU controls the tip. Here is Dimon leading the charge.
I like this early. Put Dylan Mitchell on Dimon. Put some length on him to disrupt his passing vision.
How are you guarding him if you are Dylan Mitchell?
Well, I'm paying attention to the ball screen defense. Cincinnati drops their bigs. I would show multiple looks on the ball screen because that might...
The baseline. And that was the right call. It was a common foul.
Stolen.
by Trevin Knell. He's got Dimon with him, but he takes it himself and lays it in.
Mustafa Chong, he misfires.
He can knock that down from the outside, showing some range in the last few games.
Kick it. Trevin Knell left open. He'll bury that. Yosus turns, had it partially deflected. Good D by Keita. Now here's Demon. Hesitation. Well done, teeing it up. Trevin Knell from 3. Game here.
And this free throws both ways. Those are always big points that come back to get you.
Another 3. BYU.
Well, a whole lot happening down there on that end. Crowd into it now.
Mahoski trying to stay with Dylan Hall. Traore. He had it poked. Knell tees it up again.
Two teams evenly matched. Mike, we are in for a treat because they're both on win streaks and they're both playing exceptionally well.
You saw BYU get that 80-52 win here on Saturday against Cincinnati. 4-4 you see in the bottom right of your screen in the Big 12, tied for 7th. Baylor at 5-3, and a triple fall. O'Meara pushes. Edgecombe attacks. Can't finish. Now Demon behind the back. Knell in open lane to the cup.
Play alive right there by Ojon Muna.
You mentioned the energy that you want to see him playing with. He picked up a couple of fouls, but he brought that energy in the first half.
And Coach Drew trusting Norchad O'Meara right now. 3 fouls beginning of the second half. He has to be able to play without fouling.
Mag was driving on him. Now Knell off the bounce, falling away, got the roll. Got O'Meara. Don't get it twisted.
Almost like he ripped it.
Off the tap, Trevin Knell lays it in. Trevin Knell, 3.
His seal when you throw it there, create a better angle and give him the ball, give him alone the ball where he can do something with it.
Trevin Knell, 3.
See, they're getting no pen. There's a ball screen finally.
R.J. Smith missing from the corner, and BYU grabs the rebound, and Yegor Demon brings it across. Trevin Knell, 3!
Player of the year, 75% from the foul line. Oh, I'm giving you that
go,
jinx,
Tom.
Roxy. I'm giving you that jinx.
Why me? I didn't say
it's not
it.
my fault he fell off the line. It's not my fault or yours.
Off a screen, Trevin Knell fires a 3.
And Malone's got to hold his seals better.
Andre Yakimovsky, Colorado at the offensive glass, and Keita rustles it away for BYU. The Buffs 0 for 8 from the floor here in the second half. Trevin Knell, 3! Sharp jumps, comes away with it. Gabe Madsen. And the rebound, here comes Trevin Knell for BYU.
Madsen had Lover and he didn't see him.
Knell steps into a 3, and for the Utah's equaled their largest margin.
Trevin Knell. 3. Tough shot. Tries his hand, and he banks it in. Don't know if he called that, but he'll take it.
Oklahoma State's got a little pop in their step. First it starts down here. Steve Lutz is really upset with their defense so far in the league, but it's been solid so far tonight.
Now Trevin Knell, also a sharpshooter.
Over the top to contest.
Oklahoma State is the Big 12's worst three-point shooting team at 32%. They make only 6.5 per game. Open look for BYU and Trevin. Usman, I call him Boo or Bugatti. Hits them both. That's what you drive, right?
Exactly. No, my driver drives it.
Even better. Baker on the attack. And back to Demon. Guarded by Keller. The cross-court feed to Knell. And Knell makes it happen. Called for that technical earlier, Tim, that double T with him and Catchings. So picks up his second personal, and he takes a seat.
Yeah, Catchings has 3, so those T's always come back to bite you. Not necessarily right away, but throughout the game.
And Trevin Knell. You see how they started before Dow and Karen coming off the bench started to hit some shots.
Well, Steve Lutz's teams over the years, it's pressure defense, turn your opponent over, and then get easy baskets in transition. And BYU has been just very efficient offensively.
And Bewan over Demon knocks it down. So Thompson, the big second half.
That's what Oklahoma State needs. You know, the veteran players that have been through it in this conference to step up, like Bryce Thompson.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Robinson. Rebound BYU. Down by 3. This would tie it. And Trevin Knell.
Big part of the Red Raider offense. They just get into the big. They know where their big is supposed to be.
Saunders trying to get past Kerwin Walton. Catchings against Darian Williams. Shot clock running down. Knell got past McMillan, and he puts it in.
Your jumper had to be legit. There was no question about it.
It's got to be dead center. Under 7 to play. They get it into Keita.
A great recovery right there by Texas Tech.
Knell on the drive, the scoop, +1.
Do something different offensively, right? Some down screens, some cross screens, and try to get the ball down past the free throw line extended.
Cross-court pass, finds Knell on a 3, and he drills it. Trevin. Great defense leads to excellent offense. That's the Houston way. Now quiets the crowd.
The Cougars on a 7-0 run.
Now answers.
Step back from 28 feet. And pretty good defense.
That is when you know you're red hot. End of the shot clock, you just have to heave it. And it falls.
You know, the Cougars have now made 12 3-point field goals in this game.
Sharp responsible for 4 of them. BYU answers with a 3.
Best in BYU history. And now he's got a steal. Out ahead. Off the glass and in for his first. Kevin Young calls over to his young freshman point guard. And now Crawford maneuvering about. Knell for 3.
Now you just don't want him to fall in love with it. Where everyone has to be, because he can shoot it over the top of anybody out there. But I think that Kevin Young would also like to see him put the ball on the floor when they push up on him and go out and guard him.
It's created by action. And right there you see the Cougars trying to get that pick and roll, get downhill, force the defense to react.
Trevin Knell with the first shot of the game. Wouldn't hurt.
Wouldn't hurt at all.
End of the game for Saunders, 25. Dawson Baker, if the name's familiar, he was a standout all Big West performer.
Boy,
UC Irvine.
Was he ever.
Now comes off the bench. Knell is 2 for 2. Agman's got to get him going. Allen launches to 3. Cowboys still have yet to score. Now again. That's for 3.
To happen, but the crowd, the expectations, the energy, it's all going to be there.
Crawford looked for the lob. Takeda couldn't get him. Now Knell, who had the hot start.
Meeting him in Madison Square Garden, looked up to him my whole career. One of the greatest thrills was actually hearing him say my name as a collegiate basketball player at Arizona. Watching him broadcast all those years while I was in high school, hoping one day that he'd call me a PTPer, a true legend.
Trevin.
And Robinson gets them both to go down. So with Devin out tonight, what does that mean for Dallin Hall?
Dallon's going to play more minutes. The ball's going to be in his hand the majority of the time when he's in the game running this offense. I think it's good for Dallin Hall, who missed a lot of fall camp and missed the first part.
Thank you, Spencer, and happy birthday, by the way. You see AJ, he kind of snuck in here. They're going to announce him to the house later in the game, and that'll be something. Him sitting there with his dad, Ace, and all in at BYU. Trevin Knell got a beautiful pass from Fusini Trey.
Feet, and then he goes up as you're coming down. So good inside with that patience and that pivot foot just nailed to the floor.
And Traore playing the defense at the other end.
Active hands for Fresno State here early in the game.
Now left open just long enough to pop a 3. Differential. Catchings for 3. Tapped out to Knell for 2. Knell again for another 2. Got it.
Pace we started this game with, beginning of this game just felt like it was up and down the floor, and neither team could stop the other.
8 points for Robinson. Knell for 3. Good.
Yeah, here we go.
Aguilar into the lane, kick back. Open look for 3, and this one climbs out for Robinson. Traore on the rebound.
4 of 7 from 3 to start the second half for
Knell.
Yeah, and there's a guy that can shoot.
Robinson on the drive. Traore on the rebound, out with it's Knell. He'll take it in and lay it in. Kate on the block.
Yeah, that was a big-time block. Came over on the help side and just rejected that.
Knell off the glass and in.
Rebounds when you made a team take a tough shot.
Minutes up. 19-14. Knell, free look. Got it. Take him up on it. Here he is. The BYU, first time since the 62-63 season, they played they'll be playing 4 true games, 4 games in the Eastern time zone in the season. Deep jack from the corner that goes down. Loses control. Barron wide open. 3 ball too long. Coming. The Catchings with the rebound. Quick trigger, and that pays off very.
Creates some space. Sets up Knell, corner 3. Traore with the rebound. Another chance here for BYU. Knell, same spot. Better result. The offense. Another turnover. Here comes Taylor, and he has his pass intercepted by Knell. Knell switching hands and scores. Murray crossing over. No. To the delight of this pro BYU crowd. In transition, Hall off the fake. Kicks it out. Extra pass. It's Knell for 3.
Only got 1 offensive rebound. He's been one of the elite offensive rebounders nationally this year. Early in the game, looked like it was going to be a parade of offensive boards, but Ole Miss has done a better job keeping them off. He's only committed 1 foul.
Knell hit a big three this half. Knocks down another. What a set.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Very nice game at Texas. Had 10 points in that one. And averaging 5.6 a game. He's shooting well. 45% from the field.
Demon waiting for Mag. Now he takes it himself into the lane. Kickback. Knell from up top. And
in football, and then when this basketball season gets going, there's so many good teams in basketball that on any night, you know, somebody can win a game. As Trevin Knell.
English and Russian. Sometimes things are lost in translation. And Demon's got another rebound. Knell on the drive.
Oh, nice. He used boost.
Spencer's going to visit with Kevin Young here. When we arrive at the break, be interested to get his take on this first half. He's calling out to Demon. Knell deep in the corner.
Literally.
And a good-looking move.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Mitchell's willingness to just attack and go attack the big guys inside.
He's got 4. Here's Knell for 3. 7-footer Malcolm Wilson, the #1 shot blocker in America. And Keita wins the tap. Back to Demon. BYU mixing it up tonight with the Navy uniforms, and it's the visiting team in the white jerseys.
And when you say #1 shot blocker, as Knell just turned
dart for Queens. Ritchie in the lane. There's the first block of the night by Wilson. Keita out to Knell for 3. Real into the game now for Queens. And Ashby, an outstanding shooter. That one won't go. Nothing falling. Here's Saunders to Knell for 3. They're falling on this end of the floor, and it's 35. Kicked the winning field goal to beat Utah on Saturday and just put them on the Jumbotron, and the place went bananas.
Yeah, their quarterback, Jake Retzlaff, nicknamed him Big Game Bill the other day, and that's I'm sticking with that one.
Yegor Demon back into the game for BYU. Here's Knell for another 3.
Oh, man, when he gets... But now the kid from down the street checks in.
That's Berman's 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking that
down
was
the
Pollard.
street,
It was Berman.
in Tel Aviv.
It was Berman, yeah. I was thinking that was Pollard, but it was Berman.
Knell, just enough space to get another shot off.
Young BYU team.
3rd foul on Matthews. Jabril back in for Queens. Came off the bench and hit a trio of 3s in the first half. Knell. Second. And since he has been at Riverside as niggers, and this season is underway here in Provo. No Dallin Hall tonight. Trevin Knell up for 3. And that's how the Cougars. Traded Lane Taylor will go to the bench for the Bears. 38-22, 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Knell for 3.
They